All right, I'm back. So let's talk about this idea of providing value equals money. Providing value equals money is the foundation of wealth and success found in any field. Now, this applies to literally every single aspect of life universally. However, specifically today, we're talking about business, but it doesn't just apply to business. Whether it comes to jobs or even relationships, value doesn't always mean a tangible product. It could always and also be in the form of products, services, knowledge, emotional support. Value in itself is a term that can quite literally be dedicated to any aspect of life. I used to have this idea that the most successful people were just the smartest, or they just thought of the most clever product, or they just found a very sneaky way of marketing. And now that might also always be true for specific cases. At the root of it, it always comes down to who can provide the most value. And that's how you can reverse engineer anything you see or any type of success you can see in a product or service into your own favor, and then ultimately replicate it for yourself. Now, to really understand this, first of all, you need to understand what value means. Value is completely subjective. It's not an objective term. There's no one fit all answer to this thing. And for every audience and market you're in, the value can be exponentially different. At the root of it, it's all about solving a problem. When you meet a realtor and a realtor makes the entire process of finding a house easier for you, he's solving a problem for the house buyer. When you're hungry and you don't have enough time to go and make your own food and you're in need of something quick, something fast, places like McDonald's, Wendy's, Starbucks, Tim Hortons, fast food organizations, they're solving a problem of fast food. Now, depending on how big or small that problem is that you're solving, you'll get an equivalent amount of results, but we'll get into that in a moment. You can literally see this all around the world once you understand it. Now, I just explained fast food and a realtor, but the list of this is completely endless. You look at the richest people in the world, they're all solving the world's biggest problems. Take Mark Zuckerberg as an example. Solved the problem of social connection with Facebook. Think of Elon Musk. He solved the problem of sustainable transportation with Tesla. And then take a look at Steve Jobs. He solved the problem of complexity in technology, and they were all rewarded immensely. Now, you have to think of this very practically. How does a product or a service add value to someone's life? You can even take me for an example. What I do is I partner with online creators that struggle to make money with evidently what is their ultimate passion of life, their content. I come into their business and I take whatever amount they're at, whether they're at $0 or they're already making $5,000 a month, and I raise that to a point where they actually don't have to work a regular job again. They don't have to go to school. They don't have to do anything that they don't want to do. What they're actually doing is fulfilling their life passion, which is their content. And ideally, that's a creator's dream life. On a very surface level, you could just say, I'm basically selling marketing to my clients. But if you really dig deeper, you're solving the problem of giving them their dream life. Now, of course, I'm speaking in very broad terms, and this really comes down to very specifically your niche, or your audience, or your customer base. Every single audience and every single customer base, every single niche is going to have their own problems and their own pain points. And it's your job as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a person that's willing and trying to make a substantial amount of money and provide good for the world, to find that pain point and that problem and a solution for it. More specifically, value equals solving a problem that your specific audience will pay for. Now, let's talk about the concept of exchange in business. Business at its root is an exchange of value. Every single transaction on this planet, whether it's a customer buying a product, a business owner buying a service, everything is an exchange of value. Money for service, money for product, money for a problem being solved. The more value you provide, the more compensation you're going to receive. My exchange goes to, I'm going to creators that are struggling with their current monthly revenue that they're grossing from their online platform. I go into their business, I elevate that level to a point that they can completely live on and solely focus on that, and I'm unlocking their dream life. In exchange, they give me money and a percentage of everything I do for them. Now, you might think it could sound kind of greedy to take money and a percentage of their business, but at the end of the day, you're giving them a life that they didn't have before. You're allowing them to fulfill their literal dream of life, of creating content and making money from it. And in a way, I'm creating a new business owner, because when I start working with that person and when they get to 10K a month, 20K a month, 30K a month from their online platform, they're officially a business owner. They could now go to their friends and say, hey, I do this for money. I don't work at a job. I don't have to go to school. And all of a sudden, their social status gets elevated, their self-perception gets elevated. Now they're their person in their friend group that says, hey, I figured it out, I'm the entrepreneur. And in its root, that's what I'm giving to my clients and customers and creators. If you really think about it, it's a huge problem. How much would you really pay someone, or would you give of your business, if you in your heart of hearts knew that with that person, you'll be making a shit ton of more money, and you'll also be living the life of your dreams? And this value that you provide to your customer is always going to be scaled, or at least it should be. As you grow in your business, and even in the creator's business or the customers, you're going to find new and improved ways on how to keep adding more and more value. For example, if I promise a creator that I'm going to get them to 10K a month, I've already kind of done my job, but it doesn't end there. Now it's this whole game of, all right, let's get you to 30K a month. And ultimately, how much more does that impact your life? In the beginning, at 10K a month, you can kind of just cover your bills and live a regular lifestyle and solely worry about that as your income and not have to work a job. And then now at 30K a month, you kind of feel pretty rich. You can get a pretty cool car, you can get a pretty cool apartment, all your bills are covered, and ultimately you're becoming a much stronger person of the person you were before, when you were making nothing or a tiny amount that was just covering a small portion of your expenses. Now, this is really important. We need to talk about the importance of consistency and persistence. To continuously provide value, you need to show up consistently. It's not good enough to provide value once or twice and then just completely fall off, and then now you're not really doing anything. It's not good enough. You always need to be elevating. If you showed up to McDonald's and they made you a burger once, and then you showed up again, they made you a burger twice, and then all of a sudden you showed up a third time and they're like, sorry, I can't make you a burger this time, we're busy. You would be pretty frustrated. You'd maybe not even show up to the place ever again, because you'd be like, what is this? Ultimately, your entire frame of them is they don't provide you value on a consistent basis. They only provide you value when they want to and when they're motivated to. And ultimately, it's going to cause their business to fail. It goes the same for someone like me. If I sign with a creator and I only make them a certain amount on their first month, and then all of a sudden they're back at zero, or let's say I get them to 10K a month and they're just stabilizing there and they can't even excel further or get anything more out of their audience, then I'm not fulfilling my role to its maximum capacity. Ultimately, persistence leads to results, because value isn't always recognized instantly. It compounds over time. So if you help someone in the very beginning, they might not even recognize the amount of help that you did for them. But over a 3 to 6 month period, you're helping them every day. They're going to look back and they're going to be like, wow, like, you changed my life. This is why a shit ton of entrepreneurs fail instantly, because they expect instant results. Like a lot of entrepreneurs will go start this thing. Let's say an entrepreneur that's selling paid ads. They'll go sign a client and they expect within that first month of them making the client more money, that's it, it's done. This client is locked in for life and the work is over. That's all they need to do. All they need to do is sit back and have this client just pay them money every month. But if they're not showing up consistently and expanding over time and giving a long-term value to the customer's needs, or on a broader sense to the market's needs, that value isn't really worth the long-term amount of compensation. Because when you really think about it, it's a much different thing to pay someone 3K one time as a one-time fee compared to paying them 3K over 10 months, and then all of a sudden you've paid someone $30,000. As a key thing to remember, value isn't always about a one-time thing. Value is also persistence. Now, value isn't always direct money. It can lead to many other opportunities. When you provide value to someone, and let's say you're even doing something for free, and you are genuinely providing a good deal of value, like you're helping someone into a really good capacity, sometimes you won't get rewarded with money, but that's not the point. Sometimes you'll build a relationship that will over time make you a lot more money in the process just by having that person in your corner. It'll open doors, it'll build rapport, it'll lead to a bunch of different opportunities that ultimately will benefit your life at a much bigger cause. Now, again, I'm going to use myself as an example because I'm sitting here and I could testify to this. If I'm giving something like my creators a bunch of value, sure, I'm getting money. But aside from the money, if I really put in a bunch of work and I get that client a great deal of results, ultimately what that will lead to is him telling fellow creators how I was able to help him in his business. And then that's going to lead to more opportunities for me, and then open the doors, and then all of a sudden my clientele has expanded by 5x. This is really something you have to understand if you're really focused on the idea that all you want is money. And it's easy to think like this when you don't have any and you're just at the start, but providing value will always get recognized and you'll always be compensated for it in the long run. With this, you really need to have an infinite game perspective. You can't want to do this 1 day, 2 days, and just expect instant results. You have to understand that it's really a marathon, not a sprint. Like YouTube is a great example of this. If you're a YouTuber just starting out, all your job is to provide value over a long period of time. And guess what? That long period of time that you provide value for, you're probably not going to get anything for it. You're just giving out value for free with quite literally asking nothing in return. My channel is literally a living example of this. I'm making videos right now. I'm making videos that I found valuable and that quite literally were valuable to me and what I learned throughout the process, and sharing it with whoever decides to click on this for free. I'm not asking for anything in return. I'm not asking to be paid, but eventually, after a long period of time, if I continue to do this and provide value, there's going to be a lot of people that tune in, and then eventually I'll start getting more views, and then you'll get compensated. Or it can even lead to other opportunities where I could get clients through the channel. This is exactly how all of the leaders in the space have made their channels and solidified their entire foundation. If you take someone like Iman Ghatzi as an example, or Hamza, or even Andrew Tate, all they really did to build their following was provide value to a specific market of people, and over time, enough people started watching where they got so much support and they were recognized as leaders in the space for providing value to these people, where no matter what, they're always going to have an audience now because people want to learn and people want to grow, and they understand that this guy's going to give it out no matter what. So the reason I'm kind of making a video like this is I want you to have a shift in mindset. And I want you to have this especially if you're making no money. Your mindset shift should be from get money to provide value. Many people, of course, focus on money first. How can I get to 5K? How can I get to 10K? How can I just make my first $1,000 online? But not many people are thinking, okay, how can I just provide the most value? How can I just help this person as much as I possibly can? Money should never be the goal, but rather a byproduct of your work. When you focus on giving value, the money is naturally going to come to you. Myself, when I was focused on money, I realized that everything I was trying was not working. I did a bunch of different business models where I was trying drop shipping and SaaS businesses, and all I was really focused on is I just want to sign my first client just to get the money, just to benefit myself. When I started working with creators and I really thought, okay, what is every extent I can do to eventually make my creator's life easier and provide them more value and make their life better, ultimately, that's when I started getting compensated for what I was truly doing. Quite literally, my shift in mindset of I need to make money to how can I solve more problems and add more value was the basis of the beginning of all my success. So remember, if you want to make money, shift that paradigm in your mind and really focus on providing value rather than just getting money. Completely forget about the money. Let it just sift away in your mind and start thinking about how you can solve as big of a problem as you possibly can. Now, my favorite part. Let's talk about how you can actually take action with this. Where can you actually start using any of this information I've given you? If you're watching this video and you're not where you want to be and you have something that you're working on or an idea that you want to start working on, whatever it may be, I strongly encourage you to give yourself a moment to think, how can I provide value to my ideal customer base that I'm trying to achieve? So for example, if you're an editor that right now hasn't gotten their first client, right now, just take a moment and think, what's the biggest way I can provide value to someone that creates content as me being an editor? Now, this could be you reaching out to 200 YouTubers and telling them, hey, I'll edit for you for completely free until you can decide for yourself whether my product or my service is good enough for you to pay for. Give them 30 days of free editing, and if they're completely wowed and amazed by your results, they're going to pay for you to stay. This applies even if you're not in business. You can provide value at your current job. You can provide value in your community. You can provide value in your own relationship and evidently create wealth in the form of opportunities or even growth. This is going to eventually make you grow as a person that will be the type of person that can eventually start making money through the value that you provide to other people. So as a simple action step for today, right now, while you're watching this video, think about whatever it is that you're doing in your life, whether it's a job, a product that you're selling, service that you want to provide to people. Right now, think about how you can provide value to whatever person it is that you're trying to achieve. As a keynote to remember, small actions add up over time. So remember, if you don't have a big enough value to provide, start small with small things that you could benefit to an ideal customer or consumer or friend or colleague, and do it, and you'll notice the results yourself over a long period of time. So to conclude, Focusing on value will unlock you unlimited potential. To grow wealth and success, prioritize value over money, and your opportunities will be unlimited. Money will directly follow in its footsteps. Focus on solving problems, stay consistent, and shift your mindset and paradigm to value creation. All in all, providing value is going to give you the most sustainable and strongest foundation to build wealth. Unlike any get-rich-quick schemes you see online or any quick thing you can do to make a quick buck. Doing this will keep you and make you rich for the rest of your life. Always remember, the more value you provide to the world, the more opportunities and money will come your way. Now, if you need help with this, just comment below whatever niche you're in or whatever thing you're trying to provide to a certain type of customer, whether it's a service or business. Comment below. I'll try and give you some tips of my own and tell you how you can provide value in a small or a big way. And hopefully that can kickstart whatever thing that you're trying to do. All right, that's it. Remember, do the action steps. I'll see you next week.